Welcome, adventurers. We're all here. Okay, so since the last giant, massive Lord of the Rings style battle from last game, the Dwarven King has been killed. The Goblin Horde is at your mercy. You can do whatever you want with them, by the way. And in the past, let's just say 2 weeks have passed, and in that time, a supply crisis has happened, and the Dwarven Kingdom has fallen into civil war. And you're in the house of a merchant lord, one of the highest ranking dwarves in the council that runs the city-states. You're trying to you're kind of neutral, because since you're outsiders, you have no place in dwarven politics. Yeah, not even by your own choice. Dwarves consider anyone who's not dwarven neutral. Unless you're a goblin or an orc, then they'll wipe you out and they'll wipe you out in front of your own children. But there's like a genocide war going on between the greenskins and the dwarves right now. Yes, so because of that, you're in the house of a noble merchant lord. It's very grandiose. It's full of hunting trophies. There's even a dead dragon head hanging in the main, what's the word I'm looking for? Den? Sort of study area? Well, no. Okay, so the dwarven merchant lord comes out. He's drunk as hell. You can tell he's maybe a little bit high off dwarven weed or pixie weed, which is a very rare commodity. So if you see any pixies, kill them, ground them up, and sell their dust at whatever market you're at. You'll make shit ton of gold. I'm not kidding you. Ground up. How will you just convince them to ground up their own children and sell you their remains? Yeah, but in this world, you often have to kill people to make money. If you meet pixies, we'll do it. If you run into some pixies, we'll do it out later. Alright, so let's say the Dwarven Lord comes out. He's drunk, and he's like, "Oh, you fucking lizard folk. Dude, by the gods. You look the same. You all look the same. So our Dwarven King is dead. Our Dwarven King is dead. The line of succession ended with him, and now the Dwarven Lords, myself included, are in the middle of a civil war. If we do not find resources soon, my position in my house will be wiped out by the other factions in a very short manner. The point is, I had a caravan traveling through the plains the other day outside of the mountains, and it was lost. And if I would acquire these artifacts and these useful trade items, I could strongly position our respective faction in the civil war to come. I could gain myself a political say, you would have a strong ally, and perhaps we could work something out. You'll find plenty of glory in the wars to come, boy. So, we said dragon. Alright. So, he takes you into a large room full with maps and charts. And there's like, like those old World War II maps with those little like objects for different like war parties and shit. It's very strategic looking. And you find out probably maybe 100 miles south of the mountain is a large plain, and you see like a caravan of small mammoth-shaped toys on a route. And he explains. Alright, so I lost a mammoth caravan to 100 miles to the south. We believe they were ambushed by a bunch of Knoll raiders. There's a new army rising in the plains, in the south. You might know them as the Vengari Horde. Which, if you think about our last game, this is the same horde of monsters and mercenaries and brigands that assaulted the Imperial City, like, thousands of years later in the timeline. This is like the horde from World of Warcraft, okay? So, goblins, orcs, gnolls, all the all the monstrous species. And they've earned quite a reputation. You can go at night. You can go at night. You can take black banana, black banana. Alright. I'm gonna assign you that Cobalt honor guard that came with the ambassador, 4 of them. In response, you can take one of my mammoths, investigate this, and retrieve my stolen resources. Alright. Gold. Let's just gold mines to the south from the neighboring kingdom, along with some magical relics, some magical armor, some. And if you're lucky, I might cut in some good finds fee for you. So, do you have anything else you want to do in the Dwarven Kingdom, or do you want to go straight for the gold and the resources? Roll a investigation check. He doesn't reveal much, and for all you know, the kobolds are safe for the moment. But you're literally a prison. You're like the Japanese in World War II in California. You're like a prison population. You're under strict watch. You're under strict observation. Your people aren't a... Except the ambassadors. The ambassadors are living like pampered pets. Right. Right, and I'm just saying the kobolds are living like refugees in this city right now. I think the way Trump treats with other peoples, that's how the dwarves are treating the kobolds. If you were to do this mission, you could probably gain the kobolds' favor. No, like, if you were to do this mission, you might have a strong ally for the kobold people. They're like refugees. They're targeted because the entire dwarven city is on lockdown right now, and most non-dwarven races are being treated with suspicion. What can I say? The dwarves love it. Like I said, you don't have the resources for the kobolds right now. But if you were to side with this dwarven warlord, you might gain some political favor for the kobolds in prison right now. Do this mission and other missions, and maybe look for scenarios where you can help kobolds along the way. You know, think Dragon Age Origins. You know, like when you're Osmar. Think of ways. Yeah, you know how the warden gained favor with other people. You could try something like that. All right. So, what do you want to do? Do you want to go in the commons? Do you want to go on the quest? Do you want to do? All right. So you go down to the stockade, and you find a small group of kobold refugees singing, playing their flutes, very much, and they seem comfortable. Do you want to interact with them? Roll a persuasion check. Actually, do you have charisma? No charisma. You get... Well, let's just say you gain their attention and you give them a little hope. And out of the imprisoned masses comes an old elderly-looking little kobold. He seems to be their chief. Ah, young man. I see you in the blood. Please, do whatever you can to gain us favor with the dwarves. We just want to go home, back to our caves. Alright. Very good, very good. So you kind of raised their hopes a little bit, not much. Yeah, so as you leave, the dwarven guards sort of snort at the kobold and say something in some dwarven language that's very, you know how there's such thing as, like, racial slurs in our society? Imagine that, but way worse. You can tell this is not just, like, mild racism. The dwarves are... Yeah, kobolds don't have the best reputation, especially amongst dwarves. So... what do you guys want to do next? Okay, so you enter onto the main... You ride up, you climb aboard a very large mammoth. Your little party, your little fellowship, gather more than the mammoth. You're loaded with weapons, and you begin a slow march out of the dwarven fortress, across. But whatever. You're like, it's a steady pace. You leave behind the dwarven city of its gold and ancient statues, down the mountains, night out. The night here lasts much longer than our world. And you eventually reach the plain. And you're trying to find the location on the map. Roll a... intelligence check. So you spend 2 hours and you find nothing. You're probably in the same area as where the mammoth disappeared. You're in the location where the mammoth caravan was ambushed. Go for it. You're doing that right now, go for it. 17. You get that 20. You get 20. Alright, so you finally find, you hear the loud screams of dying mammoths and the laughter of the hyenas. No. And you can tell they're only like a mile away to the east. They're only a mile away to the east. No, they're hyena people. They're like hyena humanoids. Kinda, they're like humanoid, think a wolf person, but hyena. And you have 4 kobold. And you have 4 kobold soldiers with you. You have 4 kobold soldiers with you as well. Do you want to go in swords blazing, or do you want to sneak away? Think God fire. Think like magic fire. Like. radiation. Think radiation. Not exactly fire, but it's radiation. Alright. How do you guys want to proceed? Do you want to, like, investigate more? Alright, so you take your mammoth in slowly. Alright, alright. Alright, so you get off your steed, and you walk about maybe 5 minutes, and you arrive at gruesome scene. You see a bunch of slaughtered mammoth carcasses. Like maybe 5 of them. And there's maybe like 12 enemies. 7 gnolls, 3 goblins, and 2 orcs. And they're all like rummaging for the remains. They're like wearing the gold on their heads, beating the crap out of each other for who gets the most loot. Go for it. Roll a... Yeah, roll for it. Roll self, yeah. You sneak up behind them. Roll for damage. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Okay, roll damage. Sure. So you're walking behind a goblin. You massacre his thing. You pull out your blades and you eviscerate his head off. Okay. And you now have a goblin head to do the witch. Okay, Megan, your turn. Yeah, you can do that. Roll a stealth check. Okay. Well, how about we just go with stealth check? We'll just go with this. What's your power ranking? I forget. Okay, just for the sake of things. Okay, DM ring in here. You sneak up and you have your blade. And this is a goblin. He's playing with some gold. How do you want? Roll for a attack. Yeah, go roll for damage. You cut off his arm and he goes running and yells the alarm. Alright, my turn for this. Now I'm going to roll for the Kobold Guards. And let's just say they're armed with crossbows. Again. Alright, let's go for rapiers. They charge in, blades blazing. Alright, so they get... So you got a few hits. They run in, and they maybe start fighting the goblins, and this scurry of blows. And the goblins and the kobolds are in this little duel. Meanwhile, the gnolls and the orcs are focusing on you guys. Alright, I'm gonna roll for the gnolls. I'll just divide them into 2 groups. Ooh, let's see that. They miss. The first gnoll party aims their bows at you and they miss. And I'll roll for the second group. They'll probably aim their bows at the combat here. And let's see. Alright, now I'm going to rule the orcs into one group, and the orcs will aim at you. No, they miss. Their bows just hit you and they bounce off. Well, now, what do you guys want to do? Your turn. Yeah, sure. Oh, okay. Roll for D8. Alright, yeah, you maybe take out... You cause some damage, and the gnoll is, like, screaming in pain. He kind of pulls back for the time being. Now they're engaged with you. Now, Thomas, your turn. The 2 orcs are obviously the commanders of the field. Alright. Here. Alright. Okay, your blows right 10. Alright, go for it. Alright, roll again. Alright, so I'm gonna say you cut the orc to ribbons here. Yeah, you kill one commander. And the other, now, these are like weak breeds. Like I said, goblins and orcs are the same race in my world. And the larger you are, the more brutal you are. And these orcs are probably just about my height, IRL. 5'6", 6'6", 5'6", 5'5", 6'8". And now I'm gonna roll for the kobolds. Oh. I'm gonna say they maybe take out 2 goblins Alright, I'm gonna roll for the remaining 7 nulls. I'll reduce them to 2 again. 3. They don't hit you. Let's roll for the last one group. You're fighting the nulls, he's fighting the orcs, and the kobolds are fighting the goblins. Yeah. That also misses. Oh, I gotta roll for the orcs. Fine, I'll miss now. And you're down to 1. Take 8 damage. Yeah, sure. Sure, yeah, go for it. Alright. Now it's Thomas's turn. Okay. Thomas, what do you want to do the orc? Go for it. This guy is probably a normal looking orc, though. Okay, go for it. Okay. 16. You massacre this guy. You literally cut his head off. Oh my god, you're gonna fuck this guy over. Not terrible. Alright, you literally massacred this F guy and you literally left him a freaking corpse. Now the gnolls, it appears like they're now they're fighting amongst themselves for who should be the new commander. Because like I said, the Vengari Horde is really it's like a horde of mad creatures that have a very loose hierarchy. They're like the Covenant. They're like the Covenant. You know, like how in Halo when you kill like an elite, the grunts will panic. They have a very loose hierarchy, and they only exist for 2 things: kill, make money, kill. Yeah, they're they're literally a confederation of barbarians and shit like that. I'm gonna roll for the kobolds now. Okay, the kobolds have maybe killed another 2 goblins. The goblins are starting to fall back. And I'm gonna say the gnolls have... They pull out like a magical little stone. It looks like a walkie-talkie if you had to imagine things. And out of the sky comes what appears to be a dragon. Black scale. I want to find later in the timeline. Like I said, I'm trying to make these halos I can't build vehicles and shit. But like running down from where you came from is the mammoth. Hidden visit. So what do you guys want to do? The mammoth comes charging down, collides with the dragon, and get into a brawl. And this is like a young dragon, and it's an even fight for now. What do you want to do? There's still the resource. There's still the resources. What do you want to do? Go for it. Roll a Both of you roll a dexterity check. Go for it. You intimidate the remaining gnolls to obey you. They give you their gold. Meanwhile, though, on board the dragon, you can see a large orc war chieftain pulling out his cleaver. And he's yelling at you in his own language. Do you want to fall back? Do you want to keep fighting? Javelin. No, it's a weapon. Like I said, there's an orc. Remember how the Vengari Horde's mentality works. No, what I'm trying to say is if you kill the leader, they fall into chaos. Alright, each of you roll a dexterity. You make it. The orc war boss jumps off the dragon. He issues a challenge to you in the orc. How do you mean it? No, he's like challenging telling his character. It's fun. It's fun. You pretty much gathered enough. A lot of you pretty much manage as much as you can. It's gonna be fun. But like I said, you're really facing up against a war boss. War boss. And I'll roll. Let's do this like a duel here. This is sweet cleaves and war axe that you can see misses. Alright, next round. Oh god. You can still do some damage with Scar. I'm thinking maybe. Yeah, you come up a bit and you fall back bleeding. Rock choke. You've injured the guy. You've injured the guy. You've cut off one of his arms. He's holding what is left of his. Yeah, pretty much. Probably. Alright, so I would say he's pretty beat up right now. And he's probably dying. He's really on the ground dying. But he speaks to common. Stop the horde of Radesh. And you remember, Radesh was the name of the worst war boss who invaded the Dwarven Kingdom last episode. Do you want to interrogate this guy? You can still walk. But the dragon is still... The dragon flies off, that's war boss. You're not killing the dragon. You're not killing the dragon. Alright, alright. All by the rules of Vengari Horde, they serve you now. You killed their war boss. So let's say you ride your mammoth back, the dragon flies away without a master control it, it flies back to the eastern mountains. You fall back, your mammoth's pretty beaten up, he's dying. No. You can do the merciful thing. You could kill a mammoth. He's a full-blown mammoth here. You could try and heal him if you want, I don't know. Okay, you heal the mammoth. I hate Hollywood endings. But you know what? You won, okay? You won. You got a lot of gold, you got some slaves. And as you walk back on the mammoth, the orc war boss swears to you. You cannot stop us, boy. You can't do all what you did. But they will die in cold and trust before the kingdom. Alright, so you fall back, you make it back to the safety of the Dwarven City. You're probably there by morning. And you arrive with all these resources and your plunder. But you arrive in the midst of a Dwarven riot. And that's where we'll end for the day. Alright, cool.